Hi class, Mrs. Miller here. I am so excited to record another video lesson for you so that you can listen to some instructions about our research project about biographies of famous historians, famous people in our world. Also, I want to give you an example of how you can practice some of your research and note-taking skills. So before I get talking too much, I just want to jump right in and give you an understanding of where you will start your work on Wednesday and how you can understand all of the pieces of this research project. So let's begin. Wednesday, you will not have any reading assignments because what you will be doing in your writing is putting these two skills together. You'll be reading and writing. So I'm just going to give you that whole focus of the Wednesday work to be all about our research, because not only will you be writing, but you will be reading. So I'm going to take this third grade class daily e-learning assignment page. This is what's posted in Google Classroom every morning. This is what's emailed to families every morning. I'm going to take this and I'm going to walk through what it says for writing. I also have the pieces of worksheets that you will use here, so I might even show you what they look like. I do have copies that I've written on, and they're not actually the same colored copies that you have. But let's begin. So I'll start right here. Set. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Tuesday's been a long day, and I'm already getting ready for Wednesday, so my apologies on that yawn, and I can promise another one's coming. All right, so I'm ready to begin writing focus. Let's do this together. It says right here, you will need worksheets, pages 251, 252, and 253 to complete this writing process today. These are the worksheets that were originally sent home on our first pickup, and it is talking about a biography research project. You will need to watch this video. If you see me right here, good job, you're watching the video. I will post this video in Google Classroom as well as my YouTube channel, and I will give you some further details about your work today. So on page 251, you will see that we have a picture of Betsy Ross. We have the title of Gathering Information. So I am going to walk you through this piece of paper in a teaching style right now. I'm going to jump over to my PowerPoint. So let's jump into lesson 132, how to gather information and what you will need to do to be successful. Okay, so let's do this together. Actually, I don't think I really want that. I'm just going to use this as the big screen right here. Okay, here we go. Today, when you gather information, you will take notes to actually help you remember the information and the facts that you read about the biography, or about the famous person that you're studying. When you take notes, you do not write long, big sentences. You write down points of information and enough words to just remember the most important things. Please do not spend lots of time writing big, long sentences. This is just small pieces of information, and I will give you an example here. So you're probably wondering, Mrs. Miller, where am I going to find information about my famous person for the biography I'm about to write? I will tell you. It is perfectly working out that you will use the class website that we've already used, Get Epic, to search for your famous person and use the resources on that website to help support your research. I want you to be very careful. You are not going to the big wide internet world of google.com. You are not typing in your famous person's name. And we'll also make sure that your family knows that you are only allowed to use the books in Epic or the ebooks in Epic to support your research. There are two reasons for this. One of the reasons it will get you back into Epic and experiencing some really great factual books about that person, and it will also give you kid-friendly information about that person. It will protect you from possibly seeing something on the internet that would be inappropriate about that person. So this, it says right here, one source should be an encyclopedia. So you'll find an encyclopedia type fact book on Epic, and you will also find nonfiction books on Epic. I have looked at 7 out of the 10 choices that you as a class have made, and every time I looked into Epic to find books on that famous person, I was finding very good books and information. There are 3 students who I don't have their exact selection for their biography project yet, but I will continue to support students however I can to help them get information. So let's do an example. We're going to study Betsy Ross. So Betsy Ross is not a choice that you can make for your own biography or project, because if you look at page 249, page 249 already gives you an example of a student's complete written biography as a way to guide you through what you'll be doing. So we worked on these pages on Tuesday. So what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read you a paragraph, and then I'm going to tell you right here the information that I'm writing down as my notes. So listen and follow along. I'm on page 251. I am looking at the top of the page where it says gathering information, and I will begin with the information about Sierra. It says, as Sierra read information about Betsy Ross, she took notes to remember the facts that she found. She wrote down only enough words to remember the information. She did not copy sentences that she had read. I'm going to read this short paragraph about Betsy Ross found in that encyclopedia. Ross Betsy. Elizabeth Griscom was born on January 1st, 1752 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was the daughter of the famous Quaker carpenter Samuel Griscom. Elizabeth was the 8th of 17 children and was quickly nicknamed Betsy by her large family. She and her brothers and sisters attended the Friends School for Quaker children. Quakers were known for their simple way of life, strict discipline, and strong. That's all it says. So in this paragraph, the information that you will write is not exactly all the information that has been sent. You should notice I picked 4 pieces of information that are important, and I wrote them for notes. This is also here on your worksheet. You want to be reading the information in these factual books in Epic. You're not just looking at all the cool pictures. You'll be reading to focus, and then you'll be finding pieces of information to write down for notes. So as I see on my worksheet, page 251, it says paragraph 1 as a child. And I'm taking 4 pieces of information from that paragraph to write about. And I want to know more about Betsy Ross. So what did I find from that paragraph? So I'm going to take the note 1. She was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1752. That is a factual fact that cannot change. You can't write it in many different ways. So it's okay if you have a sentence on your note card that looks like that. It tells me her full name, Elizabeth Griscom, and then it tells me about her nickname, Betsy. Other information I can find out is that there were 17 children in her family. If you look at the text, it does say a little bit different. So I'm using my own words in my note taking. I'm writing 17 children in her family. I also see that she went to the Friends School for Quaker children. It also, in the example here, tells me her brothers and sisters went too. But I'm not writing a research project about them, so I'm going to keep it on focus on Betsy Ross. So I'm going to write and imply that she went to that Friends School for Quaker children. It's telling me more details here about Betsy Ross, and it's telling me that I only need to take notes about the most important details. So when you get ready to take notes about your single person today to write a biography about them, please do not write long sentences. Take notes. Please just gather the most important information. You will be taking notes for 2 paragraphs of your project today. The first paragraph is called Information about the person's childhood, just like we saw for Betsy Ross. The second paragraph is called Information about the person as an adult. And turn your page to 252, and I would like you to practice taking notes, and this is going to give you an encyclopedia entry about Boone Daniel, or a famous person named Daniel Boone. So I want you to complete page 252 and actually give me 5 pieces of information that you find in this entry, in this text about Daniel Boone. That's an assignment that you'll have to complete today. After that assignment, you'll turn to page 253, and on page 253, you will see that there is 2 cards. These cards will actually give you information. This paper right here, I've got a coffee stain right here. These 2 cards are the cards that you will be filling out. You will be telling me notes about your famous person from what you've read from a book in Epic. So you will be telling me 5 details about that person as a child and 5 details about that person as an adult. So you have a lot of reading and processing to do today. It is very difficult to take notes because your brain is so active. Your brain is learning about new information, thinking about that information, it's finding a new place to settle in your brain. And then I'm going to ask you to tell me about that new information in a note form. So it's your turn. This is what you'll be doing today. So today you will be working on worksheets pages 251, 252, and 253. This is your reading and writing assignment today. Let's get into Get Epic. Let's also see some of the examples of books that students might look at. I want to give you 2 examples. All right, so I'm going to turn my page here to Get Epic. All right, one of the students in our class is studying a lady named Rosa Parks. I'm just going to put her into my search menu here. I'm going to ask you to see that there are 10 or more books selected. Now, that might be a hard job you have now because you have to pick the books that will help you the most. I'm going to give you what would be a good choice book and a not good choice book. I would also like to encourage you to maybe look at a few or several of the books that you can find on Get Epic. You get more information about that person's life. So let's just look right here. When we see all of these pictures, it's really awesome for me because I already am taking notices that some of these books were written with a picture that looks like a photograph of who Rosa Parks actually was in her real life. And some of them are written maybe to be like an illustration or a children's picture book. So some of these books really clearly look different. This is called a picture book of Rosa Parks. Can you see that I am in the bottom right corner here? But it is really still about her life, and it's a biography. So this is a biography that somebody else wrote about Rosa Parks. That looks like it would be an enjoyable book to read, but it's not the best book for you to get facts about Rosa Parks' life. It might, but let's see if there's any other ideas too. I really think that these books are going to help you. These are books that are published by National Geographic Kids. If you see this yellow border and this symbol of National Geographic, this top left pick, usually books that are the most best to match a student's search pop up first. So I'm going to click on this to see if I can understand details that I need about Rosa Parks' childhood. We already see that this looks like it will be a real factual book because there's a real photograph of her. It is about the same age range that you are, and it is a story about her, and it maybe even will talk about her actions and what she did as an adult. So this might even be a book that she does that somebody uses to help find notes about what Rosa Parks did in her adult life. So let's turn to it. Wow, look at this. This is perfect. It's table of contents. I'm not going to even go farther past this page. Basically, if you want to take notes about who Rosa Parks was in her childhood, turn to this chapter called Growing Up. If you want to understand about what she did about a real life adult work she did, you might want to talk about standing up for civil rights and how she found a seat on a bus. Let's look for one more example as I am going through different people. I think we all know who is selecting this one, Walt Disney. If you already know and see that the selection is smaller, and this book looks a little funny, and I'm wondering why it popped up about Walt Disney. I would not suggest a student use this for research. I do see that this book right here was labeled for a kindergartner, and it seems like a cartoony book. It might be fun to look at, but it might not be the best to use for a research project. These two first books right here that are from National Geographic and about him being an animator and founder, these two books might be the best books to find facts about Walt Disney's early life, his adult life, and why he's famous. So I would suggest a student to look at the selections after they research and make sure that they can find a good fit book. I think there was one more that I wanted to look at. Actually, let's just use Betsy Ross as an example. All right. Two selections. So I would see that both of these are really good picks because it seems like this would talk to me about who she was. This one is talks about profiles in American history, and Betsy Ross was an American history. It talks about the courage she has and what is important to her in her life. I'm going to turn the page here. Can I turn the page here a little bit? So it talks about the legend of who she was. It talks about the story about maybe why she's important. This is all very factual information. Gives me more information about how she was raised. If you see right here, that she was raised as a Quaker, and as such, she wore the same style and color dresses as all the other Quaker women. Okay, so that's really interesting. So this is a really factual book about Betsy Ross. Now let's go to this one. This one's interesting. This is a book that says includes stories, riddles, and poems about Pennsylvania's history. Might find some informational details, but it might also have more childhood or less factual type things. So if you see really how this is about Pennsylvania, about the Keystone, about hidden symbols in Pennsylvania, this is not giving you just facts and details about Betsy Ross's life. I just wanted to make sure that you knew the difference between what is an entertaining, cool book to know information about our famous person and what is a really good pick research book that you can use to study the life of a famous person. And don't forget that we're only using Get Epic as a research tool right now. Also, I want to stand and show, or I want to show you an understanding that you use this website Dexter's to possibly pick a different person that you wanted to study. I also want to encourage you that we are not at this point taking this website and using this. Let's say if I'm going to do Susan B. Anthony, I am not going to take this website and use this as my research information yet. I would really like us to stretch our ideas, stretch our thoughts, get into these books and Get Epic and do some really big work. So let's now think about what is required to be turned in on Wednesday's writing. So I've highlighted them both in yellow. What you'll have to be working on and complete is the example note card of Daniel Boone. That's page 252. You'll take a picture of that and email it to me. Then you will also complete page 253 as the note card of researching the person you're studying for your biography project. And you will take a note card, which is just this piece of paper. You don't have to get extra note cards. You will take this piece of paper and you will find 5 things about this famous person's childhood, and 5 things about this famous person's grown up adult life. So that is your writing work. I hope that you followed along and looked at that example about Betsy Ross. I hope you understand that I'm looking for 2 pictures, one of your work or practice of Daniel Boone, and a picture of page 253 so I can see that you did your research. And I would love for you to tell me what that experience is like. If you need any help finding books on epics, give me a call, a text, an email. I'm happy to help. Bye, friends.